Good morning, everybody. How are you, EFS? Good to be here with you again, back to term 2 now, so back to some study in a very different situation. Here I am at home and there you are at home, so very different for now because of the coronavirus. But of course the coronavirus situation is changing all the time. As we know, Australia is doing really well at the moment, so restrictions might be easing, but for the moment this is definitely how TAFE is teaching, which is the online teaching with telephone calls when needed, etc. The other thing to tell you is that you are all going to get a book, some books for EFS study that you can work on at home. Now the books are getting ready now and I think they'll be ready for you to pick up next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, but you'll get a text from the office people to come into Liverpool TAFE and pick up your booklets. So once you pick them up for the writing class next week, I'm going to start a Microsoft Teams meeting, which might be for 1 hour or 2 hours on Thursdays, just to connect as a class and to go through the work in the booklet. And of course you can ask questions then and I can explain things. So that's what's happening next week. This week I've sent you all an email. I've just got a little writing activity for you to do. This term we're going to be writing descriptive essays. So an essay, I think I've told you before, is a very formal piece of writing. Academic, it's the sort of writing that you do from now on when you go to university or any other TAFE course. You do essay writing. And there are different types of essays. The type of essay we'll be doing this term is called a descriptive essay. And that's when you need to describe something. So it'll be research on the internet, getting some facts and information and then putting that research into your writing. So that's the type of writing we'll be doing in term 2. So to practice that today, I've sent you an email and asked you to look at a website, just some information. The topic today is to describe the Australian $50 note. So we all know one of these. And today I want you to write about it. I want you to describe the features of this note. So I've sent you a link for the website. But lucky for you, another student, there were these research questions and another student's already answered them for you from the website. So I want you to take this information and I want you to write the sentences from this information, to practice writing your sentences. So the information we have here is all about the $50 note. Now the first question is saying, well, how many banknotes do we have in the Australian currency? Currency means the money. Well, how many do we have? Well, we've got the $5 note, $10 note, $20 note, $50 note and the $100 note, which we all would like one of them, I bet. So we have 5 notes in the Australian currency. So that's just the first question, a little bit like an general information about the Australian money and the banknotes. The next question is, what is the size of it? So that means how wide is it and how long is it? Now that information was on the website. So it's actually 65 millimetres wide and 150 millimetres long. So that's how big it is. The next question, what paper is it made of? What type of paper? The answer is polymer. Polymer is a type of plastic. It's very strong. You can't rip it and it doesn't get wet. If I put this into some water, it doesn't get wet. So polymer is a very strong type of plastic. So it's made of polymer. Now, when were these new banknotes released? When did the Australian government say, oh, we've got these new lovely banknotes? Well, that was on the 4th of October, 1995. And who designed it? Who thought, well, I'm going to have a number here, a picture here, the colours? Who designed it? That is a man called Brian Sadgrove. And the next question, who is on the front of the note? This is a man called David Unicorn. Now, he's an Aboriginal Australian, an Indigenous Australian, and he is famous in Australia because he's an author. An author is someone who writes books, writes many books and publishes them. And he's an inventor. So this man here, he invented new things for Australia to help us in Australia. So that's David. Now, who was on the back of the note? This is a lady called Edith Cowan. Edith Cowan, why is she famous? She was the first female to be a member of an Australian Parliament. Fantastic, well done, Edith. Before she came into a government or the Parliament, there were only men. So she was the first female, a long time ago now, 100 years ago, that was in an Australian Parliament. So that's Edith. The next question is about counterfeiting. Counterfeiting means when somebody takes money and they make copies of it, but it's not real money, it's fake money or counterfeit. How does the government stop that? That means against or anti, so anti-counterfeit. They do special things on it, and there are 7 security features on this note that makes you can't copy it and make a fake. So there are 7 different features, and describe one of the features. One of the features is when you hold this note to the light, you can see the Australian coat of arms. Now, if somebody wanted to try and copy that, they can't copy that. That's a special security feature. So that is the last question there. So what I want you to do now is, at home, I want you to write this information into a little report, one big paragraph, no different paragraphs. Put this into sentences, and then I want you to send it to me. So you can either type it and email it, or you can write this by hand, take a photo on your camera and email me the photo. And then I will get back to you about your sentence structure, any grammar or spelling, and ask you to give me a final one later today. So that's all from me from now. Have a good day. Any questions, please email me. Bye.